real quick, speaking of baseball,
Yeah.
thank God that Aaron Judge hit 62 because I was over it, man.
I was so over it.
You know what? And I don't like the Yankees at all, but I do like Aaron Judge as a player.
Yeah.
I was starting to turn on Aaron Judge,
Yeah.
and it wasn't him. Obviously, it wasn't him doing it, but all the cut-ins were getting so frustrating. The cut-ins mixed with everybody on the arguments on Twitter about what's the real record, what's not the real record. I was really starting to turn on Aaron Judge.
Well, I think we're in agreement here either way. 62 is not the record, so.
No, not the. He did break a record, but he didn't break the record.
For the AL, I guess you could say.
And I hate my buddy.
Who cares?
My buddy lives in Dallas, and they were at the Rangers game, not the one he broke it at. They were there the day before, and I was like, hey man, Judge is coming to town. I was like, y'all going? He's like, yeah, I'm gonna get to see him break the record. I was like, yeah, I think it's kind of overrated. Kind of overrated moment in history. And he was like, overrated? He's like, he's like, I know how much you love baseball. Like, you think you're a person that thinks 73 is the record? I was like, yeah, I think 73 is the record.
73 is the record.
And I'm like, and he was like, well, it's the AL record. I was like, who cares? In what other sport do we celebrate? We don't celebrate NFC touchdown passes.
No, we don't.
We don't celebrate Western Conference points. Like, what are we doing? You know, if Aaron Judge played for the Royals, would this be as big of a deal?
I don't know. I genuinely don't know. Like, probably. Well, no, it wouldn't because it would be the Royals. But I think it would still be a big deal. Like people would still be.
This is it's a Yankees thing to me, is what it is. It's just people are just trying. It was the first chance they had to like rewrite history. But what's weird is, I guess because he was NL, but 2017 Stanton got to 59, and I mean he wouldn't have broken a record until he got to 73 because it's NL. But he still could have gotten to 62, which is what some people consider the record. But he wasn't getting this hype train that
I was going to say. Stanton was never like a media darling though. Like Aaron Judge is like a media darling. Like the media loves him
because he's in New York.
Yeah. And that has a lot to do with it a lot of the time too. That's another reason why people won't address this. Well, people will, but like, yes, people call into account the steroid thing when it comes to Bonds. The media is just dragging Bonds because they've always hated him. He's never got along with the media. Like they're not gonna talk good about the guy. Like they're gonna continue to just drag him every chance they get.
Yeah, did the media love any of those guys? I mean, that's a little bit earlier than. Like, I really started to care about baseball with McGuire, with the three of them.
Yeah, even McGuire, like, no, he didn't get along with a lot of guys.
Sosa's kind of a goofball. Like,
yeah.
He just weird. He's just a weird guy.
I think he's got some medical issue now, too. I know that he had some work done, but he's also, like, now he's pale. Like, he's white. I don't know what's going on with him. It's weird to see. I'm like, damn, man. Like,
I heard somebody say, some people were trying to whitewash Sammy Sosa, and they said they don't need to because he did it himself.
Jesus, man. No, I don't know if that's what is it? What's it called?
I don't know
there's a
I don't know.
I don't know.
But yeah, no, 70.
I don't want to make fun of any.
73 is the record
condition.
Because the MLB says 73 is the record. Major League Baseball was embracing steroids until. Until like the government cared about it one time, then it became a big deal. But Major League Baseball wanted the steroid era because it brought action and money.
Yeah,
it's that simple.
It brought relevance to baseball.
If they didn't want 73 to be the record, 73 wouldn't be the record.
I don't care. I genuinely
don't care. Either.
I know, like, this goes back to conversations we've had before. Baseball purists suck.
Absolutely.
Get over it.
Baseball is not in the position to be arguing over, like, against entertainment.
I think the thing that bothers me is they're nitpicking, right? Like, if you go look at these Twitter conversations, all the guys I've saw like countless people and I've responded to them because it's fun. All the guys that are like, oh, 73 is not the true record. Aaron Judge's new home run king. You go look at their bio. They're Yankees fans. Mm-hmm. So my first question to them is like, okay. So you think steroids are the reason that Barry Bonds isn't relevant or can't be official, whatever you want to call it? Do you acknowledge your 2009 and 2000 and what was it, 2 or 1, whatever, 2000 World Series championships? Like, Do you know who was on those teams? Because 2 pitchers on those teams were accused of using steroids,
And you know,
and they were your best pitcher.
like if you want to get in, if they want to start nitpicking about who was on steroids and who wasn't, they don't want
You
to
know
hear. You don't want to hear about the players that weren't caught.
That's what I was going to say. You know how many people were probably using steroids that just weren't caught?
And it's gonna be. And
They didn't
I mean,
test.
obviously, we don't know, but it's gonna be guys that are beloved.
Yeah.
Like, and I don't want to like Jeter, for example. Probably not. But it could be people like that you love, and then you're gonna be like.
That's the thing. I think the thing is, like, everybody associates steroids with, like, guys getting jacked and hitting the ball out of the park. But a lot of guys in major leagues, if you go ask them, guys that have been asked about it, the reason they took steroids were to stay healthy,
Right.
to recover from injury.
Right,
Like,
you and I can take steroids all day long. We ain't hitting 73 home runs in a
No.
season, bro.
Not a chance.
Like, you know what I mean? It's so. And then the whole thing about, like, okay, you want to say that anybody who took steroids, their records don't count? Fine. 73 is still the record because you know what? He didn't fail a test.
Right.
You could think he was on steroids all you want, and maybe there's evidence that points towards it, but he didn't fail a test. So
Yeah.
73 is the record.
This kind of brings me to another conversation, which I don't want to talk too long about.
Yeah, we're at like an hour right
I
now.
know.
So.
I was having this conversation with a friend of mine the other day. Obviously, in that conversation, in the Barry Bonds conversation, I always throw out Barry Bonds is the greatest baseball player to ever play the game of baseball, hands down, in my opinion. But as we're talking through these things, just out of the blue, I got this feeling and this thought, and so I said it, and I was like, it should have been Griffey. All of it. It should have been Griffey.
That's my favorite player.
It should have been Griffey. Griffey was one of the most transcendent baseball players of all time. He brought eyes to the game without steroids, so we think, I assume.
I don't care if
I would,
he had.
I would
I don't
never
care if he
want
took him.
Yeah, I don't care if he took him either, to be fair. But if he did take him, he probably wouldn't have been injured most of his career.
Yeah.
It should have been Griffey. He was one of the most beloved guys. The media loved him. Like, if he was the guy that hit 73 home runs, we wouldn't even be having this conversation.
No. That's it.
His response to me was Barry Bonds and Barry Bonds and Barry Bonds' dad were way better than the Griffeys, and I was like, that's fair. Like, that's fair.
I mean, Griffey's I will never say a bad thing about Griffey. He's my favorite player. I think he's one of the best players I've ever seen. But also, Mike Trout exists.
Yeah, that's fair.
Let's wait till his career's over.
Mike Trout's having the Griffey issue, though, where he's injured all the damn time.
Mike Trout missed 40 games this year and still hit 40 home runs.
I know, it's interesting.
I also saw this was like 2 days ago, that him and Ohtani have the same number of home runs combined that they have wins.
Jesus.
Just, fun times for the Angels.
Jesus. There's so many baseball thoughts actually running through my head. Can we acknowledge that the Mets blew their division?
I called it.
They fucking blew
I called it. I called it. It's the Mets. Yes, I 100% thought that would happen. It's hilarious.